Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you are joining us, however you may be joining us. And you know, one of those things that we always appreciate here in our community is those people who serve every day. And for some of those people, they serve to help remind us of the things that are awfully important. Welcome back to the program, Mark Stevenson, the training officer for the Houma Fire Department. Glad you're here.
Thank you, Mr. Keith.
I appreciate it. And so look, one of those things that I know we get to spend some time making sure that people are well informed, making sure that people know and know how to do their job and do it very well. This is one of those things where it's important for people to remember and the reminder of those who have given their lives.
Very true, very true. You know, in the fire department, you know, 9/11 is an important date for firefighters around the world,
right?
Not just in the United States, worldwide. And it's one of the things now, as a training officer, I realize that we're hiring individuals that weren't even alive when 9/11 happened, and now they're working for the fire department. So it's important for us to remind ourselves and remind the public, as well as get these guys to understand the significant event that happened that day, and how we appreciate what those guys did and what we learned from that.
Right. And it was, you know, a good 12 or 13 years prior this event took place, but then you became the training coordinator, training officer, and it was something that you wanted to make sure that people would continue to know and remember.
Right. So, you know, it happened on September 11th, 2001. Right. And, you know, the year after there was a big ceremony. We had one downtown. They rang bells and all of that was great. And maybe some things kind of happened a year or two after
later,
that.
That's exactly right.
But then everything kind of faded off.
Sure.
Right.
As it tends to.
And it does. And, you know, we forget about it. And you know, the saying is we never forget. 9/11, we never forget. So, you know, it always bothered me. You know, and before I became training officer, there was really no events. There may have been small events, but nothing that the fire department did to help the fire department remember, right? So when I became training officer in 2013, 2014, I went to the fire chief and I said, hey, look, I want to have an event. Even if it's just us, we go out to the Memorial Park on 311 and we read the names. There's 411 names, fire department, police departments, New Jersey Police Department, Port Authority, and EMS workers, and the sacrifice that those folks made. We're going to read their names. We're going to ring the bell, remember their sacrifice, have a moment of silence for the rest of them. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, hurricane or no hurricane, like we had last year, we were there.
Right.
And last year was great. You know, we've had a great turnout because we had other fire departments that came in to help this parish. We had fire departments from Texas, Kansas, Florida, other parts of Louisiana, and we were all there. And there were, I would say, at least 100 firefighters. And that's the biggest turnout we had. Sheriff's Office has always participated. Police Department's always participated. Acadian Ambulance Service has always participated. You know, and yet last year was a great reminder. Hurricane or not, we were going to go out there.
Well, and even more of a reminder of what the people who are in the service industry do. Those people, like all the ones you mentioned, Sheriff's Office, Police Department, Fire Departments, ambulance services, those people that put their lives on the line every day, they show up. But not only were they showing up for this, they showed up to help. Sure. They were here from everywhere, coming to lend a hand to the most broken we've ever been. For y'all to have the largest event you've ever had, that's pretty special.
Yeah, we were going to have it. The fire chief in Bayou Cane has always said, you know, Mark, no matter what, I'm going to be there, regardless of what it is. And if it's raining, we're going to be out there anyway. We're just going to be soaking wet. Yeah. At minimum, for the sacrifice that those folks made that day. Right. We are going to stand there, read their names, and ring the bell to remember that sacrifice. Right. It takes us maybe an hour to get it done, and we owe them that to never forget. And like I said, with the newer guys coming on the job, they don't understand that. So it helps them. They may not have even been alive at that time, but now they're in an industry and working for a career. And this is the reason we do what we do. Look, I didn't work for the fire department when it happened. Right. And that's one of the reasons I joined the fire department. I was going to college in Lafayette. And when this happened, I was at college. I woke up that morning to the news. Yeah. And I tried to change my major to like emergency medicine, and my advisor said, no, you're not going to be able to do that. So I said, okay, well, I'm going home. And there was an ad in the newspaper for work for the fire department. I filled out the ad, joined an EMT class, and 20 years later, here I am, the training officer for the City Houma Fire Department, making sure that we go out and remember what happened that day. Because I remember where I was that day. Right. You know.
And so, you know, we ask that question all the time. Do you remember? Where were you? And what a dramatic story for yourself to be able to represent the Home and Fire Department, about being there and being present. So speaking of being present, let's talk about the times when people can come out.
Yep.
And being able to do that.
So it's going to be Sunday, September 11th this year. We're going to be at the Memorial Park on 311. We typically start, the moment of silence starts at 8:59 a.m. our time. And that was the moment the first tower fell.
Right.
Our time.
Right.
Right.
It was 9:59 their time, 8:59 our time.
We go out there, set up prior to.
Right.
We have the bell out there. Fire departments come from around. Everybody's welcome. I have a list of names, every name for the first responders that was killed on that day. And we divvy them up. Rod usually reads police department, fire departments read fire departments, but whoever wants to read. Not everybody's comfortable standing up in front of names, especially trying to say
some
names
of those
from New
names,
York.
right? Right.
So
yeah. That would be like people from New York trying to say names down here.
Yeah, those guys, we give them the list 15, 20 minutes ahead of time. We're practicing saying names because they got some with 14 and 15 letters they're having to say. So
the Italian names up there.
That's it. And then we just read the names. Everybody gets in line. We go through the names. We read the name and ring the bell as a moment of remembrance.
Gotcha.
And then after that, we wait for about 30 seconds or so. We give a moment of silence for the rest of the people. And then, we think about the people that are still recovering and have died since then from the cleanup, right?
Sure.
So there's first responders still today that have after effects. So, it starts at 8:59. Everyone is welcome. Anybody's welcome. And we ask that the first responders that come, they come in dress uniform if possible.
Right.
Usually PD and sheriff's office go out there, block the roads off, try to keep the people away so we don't have a bunch of trucks passing with gate breaks and things. But they do a great job. And we appreciate it. And everybody's welcome to come out there and take a part in this 30 to 45 minute ceremony.
So it's a September 11th event taking place on September 11th. Mark, thank you for your passion with this, for your direction and what you've done in your life and representing this. It's a great cause.
I appreciate it, Mr. Keith.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that will do it for this particular segment. Don't go anymore. Lamar Bayou time when we continue.